each other nose to tail like paint-peeling wooden horses on an old carousel. I looked across the room to the other window, where I'd always thought it would be better to have that chair anyway. The light would be better there, and it also happened to be closer to the desk, which meant I'd be able to angle the anglepoise and carry on reading when it got dark. But it was your chair, this chair, even though we'd bought it on my credit card, and it still wasn't paid off. How unfair that a chair we saw online and bought on a credit card and had delivered in a van did last longer than us. And we'd had the argument about moving it several times, and you'd always won that argument. I think it was the thought of the extra day past the 12-month, a single new day on top of the heap of gone days, gone months. I dropped the book onto the seat of the chair, and I started dragging the chair across the room. It was heavy, much heavier than it looked, so I stopped halfway and stood behind it and pushed. Partly the pushing was difficult too, because one of the rugs caught under it and got dragged across the room, and I had the feeling I was maybe scuffing the floorboards quite badly with one of its legs. Yes, I was. Look, I could see a gouge appearing beneath me as I pushed. But it was my floor. I could do what I liked to it, so I kept pushing, even though the rug was still rucked up under it and all the other rugs in the room had messed up too. I got my breath back, and I picked up that book again, mine, not yours, and sat down in the chair in its new place. It opened at a picture of a boy down on the ground and another standing as if he's just punched him, a woman at the open door aghast, another holding the small boy back from punching again. The words underneath said, "Oliver plucks up a spirit." Yes, the light was much better here. The rugs, all skewy now, looked like creatures, a mess of dogs asleep in random places on the floor. I quite liked that. I liked the thought that the room was full of new and unexpected sleeping dogs. Among other public buildings in a certain town, which for many reasons it will be prudent to refrain from mentioning, and to which I will assign no fictitious name, it boasts of one which is common to most towns, great or small, to wit, a workhouse, and in this workhouse was born on a day and date which I need not take upon myself to repeat, inasmuch as it can be of no possible consequence to the reader in this stage of the business at all events, the item of mortality whose name is prefixed to the head of this chapter. For a long time after he was ushered into this world of sorrow and trouble by the parish surgeon, it remained a matter of considerable doubt whether the child would survive to bear any name at all, in which case it is somewhat more than probable that these memoirs would never have appeared, or, if they had, being comprised within a couple of pages, that they would have possessed the inestimable merit of being the most concise and faithful specimen of biography extant in the literature of any age or country. First, why wouldn't Dickens name the town this was happening in? Then, the word workhouse reminded me of my father telling me once that at one point his mother, my grandmother, worked in a workhouse laundry. That's how close this anywhere of a place was to me now all those years in the future. Then, how can a birthday mean nothing? Then, a reminder that time will tell. Then this phrase, item of mortality, 3 words that mean a baby, a person. More, the item of mortality could mean the whole book, like I was somehow holding an item of mortality in my hands. Then, this world of sorrow. When I read those words, I felt again the weight of my own sorrow, the world I carried on my own back, and at exactly the same time the fact that someone somewhere sometime else had thought of the world as a world of sorrow too made the weight on my own back feel a bit better. Was that a knocking? Someone at the front door? No. Whatever it was, it stopped. It was probably next door. They'd probably heard me moving the chair and decided to do some rivalrous moving things about. I went back to the book. A matter of considerable doubt whether the child would survive to bear any name at all. Now this was interesting. Was being named a proof of survival? Without a name, would something live less long? For instance, be doomed to being only a couple of pages long? And was naming to do with survival? And were both naming and survival also somehow both to do with time? There, I thought. I'm okay. I've moved a really heavy chair, I've changed things, and I've read 16 lines in the novel, and I've thought several things about them, and none of this with you or to do with you. I even read the phrase, item of mortality, and thought of something other than you. Time heals all